Today, I am glad to bring a new topic about Huawei's chip supply crisis. Semiconductor Industry Association will help it. Under the sanction from USA, Huawei's chip storage includes flagship SoC Kirin 9000. Kirin 990 is a mystery for Chinese, even some American and European. In China, Huawei's website's mall makes the limit purchase restriction. The consumers who want to buy Huawei devices must press the purchase button at every day's 10:08 a.m. According to latest news, Huawei's chip storage and supply indeed step into crisis. Meanwhile, Semiconductor Industry Association, also noticed Huawei's dilemma and American evildoing. Therefore, SIA will take all its measures to balance the condition and help Huawei out of American trap. In recent days, Huawei held a formation conference, and some Huawei company leaders attended the meeting. Ren Zhengfei brought a generous speech at the conference, saying that Huawei is not afraid of sacrifices and 30 years of peace. This is so fun. Ding Yun, president of Huawei carrier BG, also said, "If you don't break Lulan, you won't return it." The speeches of these bigwigs inspired many netizens, and Huawei is backing up again. Actually, Huawei has been strove for a long time and has never lain down. Huawei has been embarrassed by chip problems in the past 2 years, while we demand to know what is behind the embarrassment, not Huawei. It is itself controlled by others at the technical level, but the eagle sauce on the other side of the ocean is engaged in chip blockade. For them, this is a game between the two sides. As a main battlefield in this game, it is already rare for Huawei to hold its position. It's precious. However, some sources analyzed that Huawei's dilemma may be resolved next year, because SIA has changed its position. Eagle Sauce's SIA is a semiconductor industry association that coordinates the entire semiconductor industry. This association is both an enemy and a friend to Huawei. Judging from the current environment, SIA is more inclined to lift its chip blockade against China. This is very good news for China's major mobile phone digital communications manufacturing companies, but Ing Jiang disagreed. This is just wishful thinking of SIA. In September this year, SIA submitted a report to a certain ministry. Said that the delay in the authorization of Huawei will harm the interests of the entire Eagle Sauce semiconductor industry. There are no unprovoked friends or unprovoked enemies in this world. Everyone is profit-oriented. SIA speaks for Huawei. In fact, it is the huge benefits that Huawei has brought to the entire semiconductor industry. In 2020, despite the chip blockade on China, China still imported $380 billion of chips, and Huawei's chip demand reached $70 billion. What is this concept? For the entire semiconductor industry of Eagle Sauce, the total export volume in 2020 is only $49 billion, which means that Huawei's annual purchase volume is larger than the export volume of semiconductors in the United States. The trade war that began later made Eagle Sauce passive. Increasing Ing Jiang's trade deficit, at least the semiconductor industry earns less money from us. Therefore, SIA is eager to speak for Huawei, in order to expand Eagle Sauce's semiconductor exports. The semiconductor trade blockade allows us to increase investment in the chip field and seek other overseas suppliers. This will deal a heavy blow to the entire semiconductor industry of Eagle Sauce, which is also taken into consideration by SIA. We all know that although China's semiconductor industry is weak, our reverse R&D capabilities are very strong. Now the world's major semiconductor manufacturing companies rely on the Dutch ASML lithography machine, and the reason why China cannot produce highly integrated chips is that this ring. However, facing the technical blockade of Xinjiang, major Chinese institutions, including private enterprises, are stepping up the development of domestic high-precision lithography machines. Once the research and development is successful, the Xinjiang semiconductor industry will lose any advantage. This is a disaster for SIA. In the face of Xinjiang's chip blockade, we are looking for other companies to cooperate. Samsung, TSMC, and Japanese semiconductor companies all hope to establish cooperation with us behind the scenes. Although Xinjiang has repeatedly used special means to force these companies, it cannot stand China. The huge market temptation of Eagle sauce, and these companies also understand that the current situation of Eagle sauce is changing, and the international environment is constantly changing. Following Eagle sauce, one day they will be taken into the ditch. Now they are using this to divide Eagle sauce in the country. Good time for the semiconductor market. SIA's replacement is An Meng, President and CEO of Qualcomm. Qualcomm and Huawei have always cooperated. This year they also signed an agreement with Huawei to provide 4G plus SoC chips for Huawei's mobile phones, which relieves Huawei's mobile phones crisis. Qualcomm still pays great attention to the Chinese market, because the reason is very simple. In the next 5 years, China's mobile phone and computer market will usher in a big change. The popularization of 5G communication technology will bring many entrepreneurial opportunities to Chinese society. Huawei's Harmony is already laying out the docking of various smart products. The cooperation between Qualcomm and Huawei will bring huge opportunities to the company. In addition, ASML has also stated that EUV lithography machines can be developed in China in the next few years, and even bend overtaking can be achieved. Nowadays, every 1 nanometer increase in semiconductor integration will cost a huge price, and Moore's law is no longer applicable. The physical performance of silicon transistors has reached its limit, and we will slowly catch up now, and may be able to bring new semiconductor materials and open up new areas.